Hello, my name is Emily, and you are watching the Dalton and Tomich YouTube channel. Today, we are here with Dan Dalton, a partner in the law firm Dalton and Tomich. Dan is a nationally recognized authority in trust clause litigation and has worked with hundreds of churches who have left their denominations and retained their property. Today, we're going to talk about the trust claims made by the Presbyterian Church USA in its Book of Order on real and personal property and how those claims impact the decision of local churches who wish to leave the denomination. So, how are you doing today, Dan?
I'm doing great, Emily. It's another great day in the city and having a lot of good calls with a lot of congregations to help them figure out how to best to move forward with the decisions made by the General Assembly in the Presbyterian USA denomination.
All right. So, Dan, what should the leadership team of a church do in anticipation of leaving the Presbyterian Church USA denomination?
Okay, so we talked a little bit last time about what the congregation should do and the leadership should do when determining if you should leave or not. But now this step is what do you do when you make that decision to leave? Well, first, as noted in the question, is you really should form a leadership team, and a leadership team tasked with this particular question, and a group of people, just a handful, that is willing to stay on and see this through to the end, which could be 12 months, it could be 18 months, it could be 24 months, it could be beyond that, just to get from point A to point B. So form a leadership team of individuals focused on this issue. You might want to have people of your session, the ruling elders in the session do it, or outside of the session, because you're going to have a lot of other things happening with the church in the next year or two when you're going through this process. So form that leadership team. The second thing is the leadership team should really speak with the teaching elder or the pastor of the church and find out where that pastor's at, if they're going to stay in the denomination or if they're going to leave. Once they find that out, if the pastor is going to stay in the denomination, they can kind of shield the pastor from these conversations and start talking with small groups and start talking with Sunday school classes and really those individuals that kind of do the all the work in the church, the 20% of the individuals that do 80% of the work. Talk to those folks and find out where they're as well, and kind of talk to them in terms of what's the decisions made to leave. This is what we're planning on doing, and making sure that the individuals who are the key influencers, the key people in the church, that they know what's going on, generally speaking, and find out from them exactly what those concerns are. Once you have all that information you're gathered up and you have that together, then what I would recommend doing is to work with legal counsel that's competent in this area to help guide you through. And we do it. I've been doing it for 20 years. We a little more than 20 years. We help local churches leave the Episcopal Church, the first round of the Presbyterian Church USA, Christian Reformed, Evangelical Lutheran, and more recently, the United Methodist Church. And we've helped a little more than 1,000 churches out. So we have a lot of experience doing this. There's other firms, if we can recommend to you as well, that do the same type of really good work. But please, work with somebody that does this work. In your church, you might have an attorney, or you might have a friend that's an attorney that would like to do this. This is not this is a very niche area of practice. And you want somebody that knows what they're doing, because there's going to be a lot of strategic steps leading up to the disaffiliation, up to the point you leave, that you need to take, and as well as afterwards, so that you can get to your point of freedom somewhere after. I wouldn't do a divorce case, for example, because I don't know anything about divorce law. I wouldn't do criminal work because I don't know anything about criminal work either. I would refer that out. And again, when you have niche areas of practice like this, work with somebody that you're going to do. The third step is then to start gathering information. Inventory your assets, find out exactly what you have, and you may already have that inventory, generally speaking, from your insurance coverage. So we don't need to know like how many chairs you have in the sanctuary or how many hymnals there are, but generally speaking, what do we have in terms of real estate and personal property? All the land that you own for your church, your parsonage, your cemetery, your school, vacant land that might have been donated to you or purchased over time. all of your endowments, your trusts, your bank accounts, your investment accounts, things like that. We want to find out who has title and who's that title ownership of that. So we're going to need that information as well. All your communications that from the session to the presbytery, or the presbytery to the synod, or the synod to the general assembly concerning your property, we want to have those, you want to gather that information as well. Title work. Title work is so critical. So all of the title work that you have, and again, we need to see the actual documents as well. So inventory your property, gather up your paperwork, get that ready to go, and get that to a competent attorney to kind of develop a plan to help you out in the future. And once you start down that process and start down that road, then we can quickly help you evaluate where you're at and how best to move forward. So those are the things that a leadership team should do when determining, after the determination's been made, that you want to leave the denomination and you want to keep your property.
Thank you for your insight, Dan. If your church is interested in setting up a consultation with Dan, please reach out to our office at 313-859-6000 or email us today. Thank you.